In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Today, we bring you the inspiring and emotional story of Prophet Yahya, known in Christianity as John the Baptist, a prophet honored deeply in the Qur'an and by all Muslims. His life was short, but his impact was powerful. A man of purity, devotion, courage, and truth. A prophet whose birth was a miracle, whose teachings shaped nations, and whose death remains one of the most heartbreaking events in the history of mankind. This is the full story, from his miraculous birth, to his connection with Prophet Isa, to his noble martyrdom. You're watching 12 TV, where we bring you all the stories in the Qur'an. Please subscribe to our channel, comment, and like the video to support us. Let's begin. Before Yahya was even born, his story was already extraordinary. His father, Prophet Zachariah, was an old man. His wife was elderly and unable to have children. For years, Zachariah made dua secretly, asking Allah for a righteous child who would inherit prophethood and continue the message. And one night, Allah answered. The Qur'an says, "O Zachariah, indeed we give you good news of a boy whose name will be Yahya," a name never given to anyone before him. Zachariah was shocked. He asked how it was possible. Allah replied that it is easy for him. He created Zachariah before, when he was nothing, so Allah healed his wife's body. And soon she became pregnant with the child who would become one of the greatest prophets. From the moment Yahya was born, he was no ordinary child. The Qur'an describes him as pure, gentle, wise, obedient to his parents, never arrogant or disobedient, a leader among people, and righteous from childhood. Allah gave him wisdom as a child, something extremely rare. While other children were playing, Yahya was learning the scriptures, sitting in quiet worship and reflecting deeply. He ate simple food, wore simple clothing, and lived a life of humility. One of the most famous qualities of Yahya was his purity. He refused any form of sin. He cried often out of fear of Allah. He preferred solitude, prayer, and fasting. He was known as the Weeper because tears flowed from his eyes when he remembered Allah. Yahya and Isa were not just both prophets, they were family. Their mothers, Maryam and the wife of Zachariah, were relatives. So Yahya and Isa were cousins, and they grew up around the same time. In Islam, Yahya was the first person to recognize Isa as a prophet. The Qur'an says Yahya was created to confirm the truth of a word from Allah, meaning Isa, who was born miraculously without a father. Their missions were linked. Yahya prepared the people. Isa continued the message. Both called people back to the worship of Allah alone. Yahya helped purity the community so that they would accept the message of Isa. They both stood against corruption, sinful rulers, and false religious leaders. Their bond is one of the most beautiful relationships between two prophets. Prophet Yahya was known for powerful, simple teachings that touched the hearts of the people. Here are the key values he taught. 1. Fear Allah and obey Him. Yahya reminded people constantly that this world is temporary and our return to Allah is certain. 2. Purity of heart. He taught that sins darken the heart and purity brings you closer to Allah. 3. Fasting and worship. Yahya fasted often, prayed long hours, and encouraged people to live simple, disciplined lives. 4. Speaking truth to power. Yahya never feared kings or rulers. He stood for the truth even when the truth was dangerous. 5. Mercy and kindness. He instructed people to treat others with compassion, humility, and honesty. 6. Stay away from temptation. He lived a very modest, simple lifestyle, avoiding luxury, pride, and worldly distractions. His words were soft, but his message was strong. People respected him deeply, even if he sometimes challenged their lifestyles. The hardest part of Yahya's story begins with a corrupt ruler. The king, during his time, fell in love with a woman who was not lawful for him to marry. He wanted Yahya to bless this sinful marriage. Yahya refused. He stood firm and said clearly, "This marriage is forbidden. It is not allowed by Allah." The king's pride was hurt. Some scholars say the king was embarrassed. Others say the woman he wanted convinced him to remove Yahya. Either way, Yahya's courage put him in danger. But Yahya did not back down. He kept calling people to righteousness, warning the king and teaching the truth. The death of Prophet Yahya is one of the saddest moments in Islamic history. Because he refused to approve a sinful marriage, the king ordered his execution. Yahya was killed unjustly, a prophet murdered for telling the truth. His martyrdom shook the community. It was a moment of great tragedy, and it showed how far a nation can fall when its leaders become corrupt. But although Yahya's life ended early, his legacy became even stronger. His courage inspired Prophet Isa, ASS. His teachings continued spreading. His purity became a symbol for all believers, and Allah elevated him in the highest ranks of the righteous and the martyrs. Allah honored Yahya with beautiful descriptions: a noble prophet, a man of purity, a leader, righteous, chaste and morally upright, obedient to parents, compassionate and kind, never arrogant or rebellious, and Allah gave him peace. Peace be upon him the day he was born, the day he dies, and the day he is raised alive. This blessing is enormous, and only a few prophets received it in this exact form. Prophet Yahya's life teaches Muslims several powerful lessons. 1. Speak the truth even when it's dangerous. Yahya chose truth over safety. 2. Purity brings you close to Allah. He avoided sins and lived a life of devotion. 3. Don't follow society blindly. He rejected corruption even when everyone accepted it. 4. Family and faith go together. His relationship with Prophet Isa shows the beauty of supporting one another in righteousness. 5. A short life can still be a powerful life. He didn't live long, but he lived right. His story reminds us that true success is not in wealth or power, but in pleasing Allah, standing for the truth, and living a life of purity. May Allah make us among those who follow the examples of His prophets, and may He grant us even a small portion of the faith and courage of Prophet Yahya. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Islamic stories.